And go.
Okay, are we on?
I believe we are, Peter. We're on live.
Okay, there we go. I'm seeing the live button. All right. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Guest today is Jeff from BMOCwins.com. College football season, the regular season, is officially here. Jeff from BMOCwins.com, it's here. It's here. We look forward to this for so many months and prepare for it with so much research. And finally, the games are finally here. It's always a very exciting day when college football starts. And Jeff and I are going to be doing very late, right before kickoff shows every Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll get we'll gather our last-minute thoughts, any last-minute information that we have, and, of course, take note of last-minute line moves, which can always be very, very telling. Jeff, be honest right now. Are you excited for college football to start or not? Are you scared?
No, I'm definitely very excited, Peter, for college football to start. It's my one of my favorites. So, yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, look, I prefer it to start Labor Day, but I'll take 4 or 5 games, first day out, August 26th. I'm a little lead up to the fight tonight. I'm not mad at that, Peter.
All right. Sounds good. I'll be honest. I'm definitely very excited for college football to start, but I'm also a little scared, to be perfectly honest here with you, Jeff.
Now, why are you scared, Peter? Why would that be?
Well, because there's a chance, a slight chance, but still a chance in the back of my mind that I might, because I'm going to give my picks all season long and track them and everything, and I could massively embarrass myself publicly here.
Well, I mean, Peter, you could walk out of your house and get shot. I mean, we all gotta, we all gotta prepare. We all gotta prepare for the end at some point. But Peter, I've learned with you. I've been doing videos. You were the first person I ever did videos with at SBR, and
nice.
You've been very solid the whole time. So I think you'll be just fine.
Yes. Yes, my long-term record in college football on totals is actually excellent. There was one year, though, where I had just a significantly sub 50% record in college football on totals, and I really have no explanation for why. Maybe I just wasn't doing my research well enough, or maybe I got a little bit lazy with my picks. But yeah, long-term in totals, I have my record. I can even maybe go back and tell everyone, but it's about like 55, 56-ish% on totals. Big sample size long-term, although, again, there was one year where I just had a shitty record and no explanation. So, yes, you're right, Jeff from BMOCwins.com. I could walk outside and get shot. There's a small chance of that. I would say, though, that the chances that I embarrass myself in a massive way publicly with my college football picks, a little bit better than the chances of me getting shot. But I understand. They're both very small. They're both very small.
One of the long-standing tales at SBR are you and I with totals in college football. We've always been very good at that.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to maybe cracking the code with you this year with those.
Yes, and also, I don't know if you can see Jeff from BMOCwins.com, but I'm wearing a brand new salmon-colored shirt. So, I'm trying to start the year off looking pretty good, because I do believe that if you want to be a winner, you got to look like a winner.
Yeah, I like the salmon. That's salmon shorts is kind of a no-no, but a salmon shirt I do like. And Peter, feel free. You could just call me Jeff. Don't have to. The website's not necessary, Peter. I know that's normal for you to say, but you could just call me Big Man. You could call me Jeff. Don't worry about it.
All right, these words just flow out of my mouth.
I know. We've been doing it for
right now. As of right now, I am not yet necessarily a winner in college football, but I sure as hell look like a winner, and that's a nice start, right, Jeff?
Yes, that is definitely a great start.
And I'll tell you what, you're looking a little bit like a winner too right now, Jeff. You got a flat screen TV in the back. You got a nice little setup there. All right, so let's get into it. We got 4 games.
And now, look, Peter, Bayern Munich just scored. Beautiful. You must be good luck.
Oh, very, very nice. Yeah, I know you follow that stuff. You follow soccer. Now, here's the thing, Jeff, from BMOCwins.com. One of the scary things, of course, about college football is when you do your research, you give an opinion, you think you got a nice edge, and then the market line moves massively against you, and that's a scary thing. I didn't expect it to happen so soon in this college football season, but it sure as hell has already happened. I gave the opinion. I gave a pick on all 4 games and the major games, and one of the opinions I gave was Hawaii +2, and it's now solidly 3 market wide. So something has caused a line move to UMass. Now, I did preview this game specifically with Joe Gavassi from JoeGavassiSports.com. He's a guy who I definitely, respect, like you already has say. He agreed with me. He liked Hawaii +2. And I'll tell you what, I don't need to put Drew Martin on blast here if it's true or not, but I went to Drew Martin's office in the SBR offices. I went into Drew Martin's office. I said, Drew, man, UMass and Hawaii, and Drew was telling me he likes Hawaii, and I was like, me too. I high-fived him, so I like Hawaii. Drew likes Hawaii. Joe Gavassi likes Hawaii, but the line has moved to 3. What's up with that, Jeff?
Yeah, this is a game that I've been trying to examine for weeks. I don't really understand it. I guess, Peter, I think a lot of people are looking in Hawaii and saying, they're a good football team, but at the end of the day, are they? I mean, we look back to last year in their bowl game, and they were very impressive in that game, but truth be told, they haven't been very good on the mainland of the United States in some time. They're traveling a long distance to go to this game. Do I understand back in UMass here? No, but I will say this. They have a pretty good offense. They're not completely lost. And look, Peter, sharp money's back in UMass here. It's pretty obvious here. And I think people are just looking at that record and saying, I can't back them on the road. They're a team that's just – they don't ever win. You look at their trips to the mainland this year. I mean, I know they beat Air Force, but overall, I mean, they were pretty poor in that time.
Yeah.
They're no stranger to traveling. But, Peter, I actually like the over in this game. I think it's the best play on the board today.
Yes.
I will say this. It is a play of mine with my customers. This is a play that I'm all over. I just don't see a lot of defense played. And, Peter, you know what I'll say about this game? It reminds me a lot, and I don't know if you'll remember this game from last year. First game of the season, Ohio, Texas State. It was a very similar line, very similar situation. You had a team kind of traveling a far distance. It ended up being a wild shootout. I think it was like 54-53 or something. I could see a similar game here where everything's kind of just thrown out. These teams go back and forth, and I do feel the points will be valuable late, but I think the over is a better play. 41-38, I think this game is 38-34, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. You brought up a lot of good points. First of all, the game last year, of course, was a shootout as well, went into the 80s. Two issues that you brought up. Is Hawaii a good team, as you said, and also the travel issue. The travel issue with Hawaii, in my opinion, I think, tends to be much more of an issue in the middle of the season. For this game, they went to Massachusetts early, and I think that does help them. The question is Hawaii a good team? Obviously, that's a good question, a key question here, and it depends what you mean by good. My analysis of Hawaii is that their offense is the kind of offense that's going to dominate teams that are bad defensively, and then when they go up against better competition, they might struggle significantly. But the reason I like Hawaii, obviously they have some issues, right? Big question mark, big negative last year was their pass defense. It was iffy, and UMass does have a quarterback and tight end duo that's returning here, so UMass does have some weapons in the pass defense, but they don't have like a strong defense like a top college football team would have that can take Hawaii apart. And so I'm seeing that and the secondary also lost a bunch of its their pieces for Hawaii, so definitely their pass defense figures to be a negative here, but my sense is that the offense is going to be very strong. They're going to put up points on the UMass defense. And one issue with the Hawaii's offense last year was they started to break down in terms of injuries. That might happen against this year, but obviously in week 1, that's not an issue. So they've got a ton of returning power on offense. They have that running back Diosemi St. Just, who is also a guy who, when he's healthy, is excellent, and he might get injured later on in the year, but as of right now, he's healthy. So I'm seeing, just a big offensive performance by Hawaii. I'm agreeing with you that the over is a good play. And you know what I will do right now, Jeff from BMOCwins.com? I'm going to throw on as well. I'm already on Hawaii. I'm not going to pull it, but I am going to throw on the Hawaii team total over as an official pick of mine. It's 29, over 29 minus 108 at Pinnacle right now. So I'm adding that onto my official slate of picks in agreement with you. Hawaii team total over 29 as an official pick. What do you think, Jeff?
I really like that play. I definitely think they're going to get into the 30s. I could see them hitting 40, to be straight honest with you. And I will say this, Peter, I'm willing to have my record tracked as well.
I could see them hitting 50 if you really want to be honest here, Jeff.
I could see a 45. I could see 51, 28 something. I just think this game's going to be high scoring. But yeah, 29 seems low. And again, I do want to make this point, Peter. I'm willing to have my record tracked. Anyone that wants to do it, if SBR
really
track it, yeah, I don't care about that. I'll give out official plays. Official play for this game will be over 61.5. I'll go UMass and Hawaii in this one. Yeah, it would be really surprising to me if this is 27-24. I just both offenses should hum, and the one strength for UMass is offensively. I mean, their quarterback's solid. Andrew Ford, Brenneman, the tight end, he's really solid. And they really don't run the football either. That's one thing they don't do either. So I think we should see an up-tempo, high-scoring football game here, similar to last year.
Well, you know what's weird right now, Jeff? First of all, I agree with what you just said. Of course, it opened at about 63. It's actually been creeping down, and actually, I might be about to blow your mind here, Jeff, but it's actually down to 61 at Pinnacle, and BetOnline sportsbetting.ag actually have 60. The over is -120. So, 61.5 at many places, but the Greek and Pinnacle have 61, and BetOnline already has down to 60.
Yeah, this game is definitely interesting. I mean, in both total and side, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. My notion was, again, off, and I'm not talking about in Vegas just because of the fight and there's obviously added foot traffic, but offshore, I mean, is the casual football fan that looks at this card today, are they going to bet this game? I don't know. That's the question I have. I think people like us will, and again, we elate this community to being huge and everything, but we're the only ones that are really looking at this game, I think. I don't think the normal sports bettor that bets NFL and high-level college football might look at this game, but look, it's clearly sharp money betting on Hawaii here. They don't believe it in – or betting UMass. They don't believe in Hawaii. And I'm not saying I do or I don't. I know they're going to score, so I'm just going to go with points here.
All right, so I'm on Hawaii, and I'm on the Hawaii team total over. And so, Jeff, if we're going to track your picks, you can either, like I give official picks throughout the week, and obviously I get those lines. You can either, put your picks officially somewhere where we can go back and see what they were, and then we can give you those lines. Or if you give lines in this show, obviously you get/have to take the current lines. So did you give that pick out officially somewhere else earlier in the week?
I actually sent it out last night at 61.5. I'm willing to put it out at that number. I don't mind.
Okay, we just have to figure out what lines we're going to give, because if there's some way where your official picks go earlier, because there are going to be some times when you're going to give a pick and on Saturday morning the line is going to be significantly worse.
I'll tell you what, Peter, here's what I'm willing to do, and this is something I'll throw out there. I'm willing to go with whatever the line is at 11 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
I'm willing to go with. So.
All right, so that's what we'll do. We'll give lines currently in the show. So
all the official picks will come on this show. That's what we'll say.
We're going to give you 60 -120, unless you want 61 -110.
You know what? 61's where I sent it, so that's where I'll go with it.
61 -110 on the over. Official pick from Jeff from BMOCwins.com. I can't say I disagree with that. I can say that the line movement is really freaking me out, and I don't understand it. And we'll see how it turns out, because, again, I'm a believer in Hawaii's offense against defenses of Massachusetts caliber. I think Hawaii's going to have a big day offensively. UMass should be able to hold their own at least a bit. Again, Hawaii's pass defense was a liability last year, looking like it should be a liability at least to start the year here. So, I know that UMass has some young bodies on the offensive line. Listen, we'll see. Jeff's on the over. I'm on the Hawaii team total over and Hawaii plus. Well, no, I have to take the line that I gave, which is +2. It's now up to +3 market wide, and I officially don't understand / am slightly concerned about that move. Let's talk about another game that Jeff, you mentioned. Some college football fans who only focus on their conference or high level games, only focus on their conferences. So I'm sure a lot of people are looking at the Rice-Stanford game. In the morning shows that I've been doing this past week, everyone's chiming in on this one. Some people saying that Stanford's offense is just so awesome that they're going to roll by more than 30 easily. I gave the opinion that I think the spread is kind of close to on. If I had to make a bet, it would be on Rice on the spread. But my official pick on this one was on the under at 51, and the market does seem to be uncertain here. 51 is still available, but the bet online books have 50.5. Pinnacle and Bookmaker have 51.5. So already on game day, there's a market uncertainty as to where this line should be. My pick on this one is on the under 51. You have anything to say about this one, Jeff?
Yeah, I actually am interested in this game from a number of reasons. Peter, a lot of people have to remember Keller Christ is off of an injury, a gruesome injury in their bowl game. From what I understand, they are blown away at how quickly he is back from that injury and playing at a high level. Again, this is a real football game. It's a long travel schedule. I don't know, and I get the feeling that their playbook isn't going to be – this should be an opponent that they take care of fairly easily. I think we're going to see a lot of them running the football with Bryce Love. They're not going to put Keller Christ in some really tough situations. Again, the injury was bad. I think Rice is going to struggle to move the football in this game. They have a brand-new quarterback. I think David Bailiff, their coach, is really under the – I wonder how he's back. I mean, he's been really poor in his career there overall. And I think Stanford is one of the better secondaries in the country overall. I think this is a 38-10 type of game. I'd like to know what Rice's team total is. I'm looking at that right now. There's just recently came out. Yeah, it's 10.5. So I'm kind of right on there with that. I'm hard pressed to think they score over 10 points, but this is a game that I am going to stay away from. I do think the under is the right play, but I have a weird premonition, Peter, that they're going to like score a late touchdown and hit that 17-point mark. I don't know why, but they should struggle. I mean, this is a really tough situation for them. I just wonder, will Keller Christ be as on as people might think? And that's where the scoring might be a little bit down from what we might think.
Yeah, I'm generally agreeing. I'm agreeing with your analysis 100%, actually. My only disagreement is that I am willing to pull the trigger on the under. I agree. I can see Stanford. I'm seeing Stanford scoring somewhere in the 30s and Rice scoring anywhere from 0 to 13. And so I think that the under is a play there. Sounds like we're in agreement. To anyone who bets on Rice or Stanford, good luck. I'm off of that one. So is Jeff. But I am on the under. I bet it, and hopefully it will cash. Now let's move on to another interesting game and team. South Florida, of course. Charlie Strong got kind of a raw deal at Texas. Texas is a really tough place to coach, but of course before that he had great success with Louisville. Of course, a similar level of team to South Florida. He comes in this year with inheriting a great roster, a great situation, which is nice to see because I definitely think he got a bit of a raw deal with how things transpired at Texas. So it's nice to see him come right in and at year one have great tools to work with for South Florida. South Florida, also probably playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because they were so good last year, but didn't win the conference championship. And game one, a very beatable opponent in San Jose State. We do see a lot of week one sort of surprising upsets, even when like Washington State was killing it game in and game out. They tended to do badly in their week one games. So, wouldn't be a surprise here if South Florida struggled. My sense is that they probably will roll. And I did give this one as a pick. I bet it when it was 20.5. I gave the pick when it was 21 minus 110. And now market wide, it's up to about 21.5, although the Greek has 21. What do you think? Is this a trap or do you think South Florida is going to roll?
I think South Florida is going to roll, but I actually really like the under in this game. I can actually get 71 at Bovada. I think this is an under football game. I think a lot of people are going to migrate and say, look, South Florida, they're going to put up 55, and San Jose is a better football team. At the end of the day, San Jose State is a bad, bad, bad team. They don't have a quarterback to run their offense like they've had in years past. They don't really have much of a offensive game either, and contrary to people's belief, they're actually a pretty good defense, secondary-wise. They've returned all 4 starters in the secondary, a secondary that was 14th in the country last year in pass defense. I think they're going to be a bend but don't break. They're still going to give up a lot of points in this game, but I just don't have a belief, Peter, that San Jose can move the ball. And with an added dimension of defense being preached with Charlie Strong here, obviously I agree with you. He got a really raw deal. I think overall he's a pretty good coach, and I think he's going to thrive at South Florida. They're going to have a special year this year. One of my biggest bets in the future markets, Peter, is, and I don't bet a lot of win totals, but over 10 wins I have at a fairly large bet. I really like that. I think this team could run the table. I think this is a 48-20 type of game. It'll be near the total, but I just don't have a lot of belief that San Jose is going to be able to move the football. This could be 55-31 or something, but I don't know that I see it. I think South Florida will be a little bit more destined to play really good defense here with their new coach. They'll get after it on that side of the football.
I completely agree with your analysis there, and I talked about that during the week as well. I mentioned that the total was actually one that I was staying off of. It's interesting because it opened in the mid 60s. Then when it spread out market wide, I think it was like 68 or something. It's now up to 70 or 70.5, which is understandable because South Florida does have such a potent offense. But I agree with you. I'm not totally sure that South Florida is going to be motivated to run up the score here if they do have a big lead. And I agree with you. I could see this one, scoring at a healthy pace most of the way, and then sort of slowing down in the fourth quarter and sneaking under, landing in the mid 60s or somewhere like that. So I agree with you on that one. And I also mentioned during the week that that probably, if you want to get cute, which I do sometimes, and sometimes I get away with it, sometimes get burned by, maybe you want to take South Florida on the first half instead of the full game, which would be 13.5. I think they are motivated to win by 21. I think that's a fairly safe bet, and they might start out for whatever reason a little bit sluggish, and then pile on the points in the second half. Go ahead.
Remember, this game is on the road, which is an odd scheduling system for South Florida. Yeah. Not sure why they're going on the road to play this game, but again, they're the 19th team in the country. I think they're going to want to get out. But again, a new coach, new things. I could see. I think the number's important. I think, Peter, you got a good number at 21. I think you said.
Yeah.
The number and the numbers made sense. The number has went up. It hasn't went down or stayed at 19. It's definitely moved and went the right way. But this could be a situation where it's at 28 with 4 minutes to go. San Jose wants to, get a
be the hero.
Yeah, they want to be that Mickey Mouse hero at the end and score a touchdown and make everyone push or lose in this case at 22. But I'm going to go official, Peter. My other official pick, I'll go for the sake of the show under. I can get 71 at Bovada, a USF, San Jose State University.
All right, one tiny bit. I don't really, because I don't use Bovada lines because they can be off.
Okay, no problem. We'll do 70.5. No problem.
Is that 70.5 minus the 70.5 minus 110. And Pinnacle has 70. And interestingly, as you were talking about the line move, of course, I've got SBR odds fired up right in front of me. Just as you were saying that, Pinnacle took a bit of a move towards San Jose State. San Jose State's now plus 21.5, minus 115 at Pinnacle. So some action just came in on San Jose State. The Greek has 21. So it's interesting. I could see some sharp money coming in on San Jose State, but I'm on South Florida. I think that they should roll, and hopefully they'll be motivated, and Charlie Strong will be able to motivate them there. All right. But one quick question, Jeff. Is my audio coming through clear to you?
Yeah, your audio is coming in fine. Yes.
All right, great. Okay, excellent. And then the fourth big game on the card, of course, is Oregon State, Colorado State. Another interesting one, Colorado State. High expectations for Colorado State this year, and it's understandable why. Last year, they were a team with a high ceiling. Their results, their game scores were they had a high ceiling and kind of a low floor. When they were good, they were really good. And, so the expectations and the hopes are high this year. Of course, they've got a new on-campus stadium, which they'll hope will give them a boost in their home games. And this is the first game in that stadium. They're at home against Oregon State, and Oregon State's a team that I have circled as a team that might slowly improve year in and year out and be a bit of an undervalued team. So I'm not too psyched to fade Oregon State, especially in the early going. We know that head coach Gary Anderson did some nice things at Utah State, and they are slowly improving, I feel, year in and year out. This is another one. Jeff from BMOCwins.com. I gave the under 59 earlier in the week. Now we're seeing, again, it's kind of split. 61 most places, but Heritage has 61.5. BetOnlineSportsBetting.ag has 60.5. And by the way, as I mentioned, how the market is uncertain about a bunch of these lines. This is exactly why line shopping is so important when it comes to college football, because you're really talking about half points that mean the difference between a win and a loss or a push. If you want the over, you want to go to one of the books that has 60.5. If you want the under, you want to go to like Heritage that has 61.5. So, but the point is the market has clearly moved against my pick at 59. I'm going to have to eat that line and take it. I don't know. My sense is that the way Gary Anderson played, and also Colorado State has Colorado coming up very soon. That's a huge game for them. So I'm not sure they're going to want to, run up the score offensively or something like that. I think they want to get a solid win and get out. I think Oregon State's going to play a bit of a run-heavy game. And if you look at Colorado State last year when they played teams like these, the scores tended to be kind of in the mid-50s. So I didn't think it was a huge edge, but I was expecting the final score in the mid-50s, and that's why I took the under at 59. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, this is the toughest game today. And, again, I want to make it perfectly clear. Just because it's on the card doesn't mean you have to bet it. There's not a particularly strong edge in this game. I think the one slight lean I would have would be to the Beavers here. I think that look-ahead game Friday in Boulder is a bit of a game that I don't want to get involved in. I don't want to have to worry about that. Colorado beat them mercilessly last year, I think 44-7, Colorado State. So they're going to obviously be looking forward to that. They have a new stadium, a new athletic area, which is always sometimes it's obviously great for the players, but it's also a lot of pressure. It means that obviously the school believes in you, and they're looking to have a big year. And look, I think they're going to have a very good year. I think they're the second or third. I think they're the third best team in the Mountain West. Offensively, they're going to be really dynamic. They're a team that is very balanced in the run game, have a good quarterback in Stevens. And when Stevens played last year, they were extremely effective, Peter. You look at late in the year, a lot of points they scored. But, I think Oregon State's going to be better too. Ryan Null might be one of the best players on the field overall. And I'm excited to see this quarterback, 6'7", Jake Luton, which I can't remember the last 6'7" quarterback I've seen, Peter. He didn't get playing time at Idaho, but he's going to get a lot of playing time here. And I want a shade to take Oregon State here, but I'm going to stay away from it. It's a tough game. And Oregon State's lost 13 in a row on the road, so they're not exactly the team you want to back. They didn't win on the road. They haven't won on the road in years, so I don't know that I want to get involved with them now.
Yeah, I basically agree with your analysis. Again, I'm just thinking that that the under might be a decent play, although the market has moved against it. All right, so far, again, my 4 picks are what they've been all week. Stanford under, South Florida -21, Hawaii +2, Oregon State under at 59, and I threw on the Hawaii team total over as a 5th pick, and that's it for me. Jeff from BMOCWin.com. One other game, Portland State BYU. You mentioned earlier to me that you might have an opinion on that one. Is there something you want to share with us on that game?
Yeah, quickly, I am considering betting the over here small. I think I've done some research on Portland State. It's not easy to find, but when you look at FCS teams playing FBS teams, can they compete in the game? Do you think they can score points? I'm looking to bet on a North Dakota State, a James Madison, a team like that. When you're not even in the top 25 of FCS, I really think you're going to have a lot of trouble. I don't know that they're going to score many points. They have a brand new quarterback, new offensive point pieces. And I think one thing that has to be looked at, Peter, Portland State has surprised some FBS teams over the years. Beat Washington State a couple years ago, beat North Texas handily a couple years ago. And I can remember that because I remember doing a game with you the week after, and it was a really funny video we did. But overall, I don't know that they're going to score many points. I kind of like the under. I think this is like a 48. I think it's 48-7, something like that. Should be one of those typical FCS, FBS games. BYU not a team known to really run up scores. I think they're going to kind of get ready for their season. Their season schedule is very tough being an independent. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, but I'm looking into under 60. But 2 official picks for me, I'll go over 61, UMass Hawaii, and under 71, USF San Jose State University.
Okay, but we're only going to be credit you under 70.5 in the SF1, just because Bovada's a great book, and you can play there if you can play there. But they are a rep book with relatively low limits, so we like to use.
They are a square book. They are a pretty square book. Yeah, under 70.5. My fault. Totally right. You got
under 70.5, no problem. All right, Jeff from BMOCWins.com. Going to give official picks, and we're going to track them. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to give my official picks, of course, and track them. So this show will probably be somewhat entertaining because chances are that at least one of Jeff or myself will embarrass ourselves publicly pretty majorly, or maybe not. Maybe we'll both have positive years and we'll just stick it to our haters every single week. That is entirely possible. I can tell you one thing, Jeff, that if I do have a losing year this year in college football, it ain't going to be because I didn't do my research. I'm putting into everything I have into my college football research this year, and hopefully, definitely we'll have a lot of good information, and hopefully we'll come out with some winning picks. That just about wraps it up for our first show. Great show, Jeff from BMOCWins.com, and we'll do this again next Saturday with the bigger card. You ready for that one?
I am getting ready for that one. Peter, do you want to hit any questions here, or we want to forego those?
No, I think let's oh, you mean questions from commenters?
Yeah, I got a couple here just quickly before the season starts. Do you like Lamar Jackson, JT Barrett, both for Heisman? I don't like, again, I think that they're being the running. I don't like either. For futures, I'm looking heavier, bigger odds, Mason Rudolph, Shane Buechele, people like that. I'm not necessarily looking. The lowest odds I took were Baker Mayfield at 9-1, I think, or 8.5-1. Anyone having a lean on the Texas Southern Florida A&M game? Naeem 25. That should not be a game you're looking at. Again, I'm all over the 351 teams in college basketball, but in college football, I would not be looking at the Rattlers against the what's Texas State? I forget their mascot.
Texas State, aren't they the Bobcats, right?
No, not Texas State. Texas Southern. Texas Southern is I think I want to say the Eagles, but I forget. No, the Bobcats are Texas State though, Peter. Good eye there. But yeah, again, not a ton of questions here. No, and we'll get to the big card next week. Join us back 11 o'clock. Next week we'll do some stuff. Yeah, and the show next week will start the kickoff. But we're looking forward to it. Peter, anything else?
Looking forward. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope this was entertaining and or useful and or valuable. Thanks so much, Jeff. Talk to you next week.
Thank you.